Hi, I'm Tina Hnatiuk and welcome to my living room yoga class. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a Chaturanga correctly. And I'll also be showing you what you need to watch out for and modifications if you're not able to do a full Chaturanga right away, which is totally fine. So the reason why I'm going to be showing you this today is so that you learn the correct alignment, really to keep yourself safe, okay? And a big part of this is just stacking the joints. Shall we begin? All right, so I'm gonna head on to my mats here. And Chaturanga is a part of typically sun salutations or vinyasas, which are often used to either warm your body up at the beginning of practice or towards or in the middle of practice to keep the heat going. And it also builds strength. It's wonderful. So I'm not going to go through the whole sun salutation here. You can check that out on one of my other videos. Today I'm just going to be talking about Chaturanga. Now, most people, when I ask them in my classes, you know, where should your hands be in front of you when you're in a plank position in Chaturanga, they often say right here, out from the shoulders. But actually, your hands are more like down here. And the reason why is that when you bend your elbows, you want your wrists and elbows at about the same line, and also your shoulder in line with your elbows. So when your hands are too high up, when you lower, your shoulders start to crinkle and the heads of your arm bones start to go forward, which compresses your chest, and you kind of get this hollowed chest thing. And what you want actually is that nothing really changes. It's just the arms that move. So you've got this really nice open heart, and your shoulders then stay safe in this alignment because your shoulders are stacked. So I'll show you on the floor what this looks like, and then I'll show you some modifications and some things to watch out for. So typically it's a part of a sun salutation, as I mentioned. I'm just going to break it down, the pose itself here. So when you step into your plank position, rather than having your hands underneath your shoulders, they're shoulder width apart, you're going to rock forward onto your tippy toes. So what you want to see here is that my shoulders are in front of my fingertips. I'm not sagging through the hips or poking my butt way up, because then the heads of my shoulders again collapse. So I want to stay nice and straight, and notice I'm right on the tips of my toes. Now from here, I'm going to lower just to elbow height. So I pause right here, notice where my elbows are in relation to my ribs and my wrists, and then I can push into my upward dog here. The main thing that I want you to notice is the hand placement. So instead of here, it is quite a bit lower, and to get there, you need to rock forward on your tiptoes. So Chaturanga actually feels quite forward. Instead of more of like a lowering position, it feels like you're pushing your chest towards the front of your mat. You're literally pushing off your toes forward, and it feels a little awkward at first, particularly having your hands so much further back, because you know the leverage of it, there's all this space then that's part of your body that's forward in front of your hands rather than right here. So it does take quite a bit of strength, particularly to stop at elbow height. The common mistakes I see is that people go too low. So you'll see their elbows go past their ribs. And what this does again is it collapses the chest. The arm bones come forward instead of staying rolled back. And then what happens is it puts all of these little muscles in your shoulders at risk, because instead of using the big muscles of your triceps and rhomboids, now these little muscles are having to compensate. So the main muscles that are used in Chaturanga is it's really a tricep push-up. So you'll feel the backs of your arms and the muscles between your shoulder blades contract to hold you there. In a true Chaturanga, there's also a pause. And one of the things that I often see in classes is not only do they go too low because they don't have the strength to pause here, because it is harder, is that they'll rush through it. So instead of stopping in Chaturanga, they'll kind of lower and then just go right through into the upward dog. And I'll show you an example of that. So they'll come into their Chaturanga and then just go right into the upward dog. And Chaturanga is an actual pose, so you do stop here and then come into the upward dog. So just be mindful of that. And modifications. So for me anyways, when I first started any type of vinyasa yoga, whether it was Ashtanga or Vinyasa flow, I found I did not have the strength at all to stop there to do the full Chaturanga. I kind of wormed my way down for a long time because I wasn't able to do it. I also hurt my shoulders. This is one of the great things about yoga teachers who've had lots of injuries, is we know what to watch out for. We know what to watch out for and how to fix ourselves, that kind of thing, because we've been through it, you know? And we also want to protect you from it, just like I want to protect you from it. So I'm letting you know what I went through so you don't have to. And I've been teaching a long time. So the big thing here that I want to show you for mistakes to watch out for is hand placement. So when you have your hands right underneath your shoulders, I'll show you what that looks like. Look at my chest, I'm also too low. So everything kind of collapses. It's not clean and it's very hard. It's quite a struggle to hold there. You want to make sure you stop at elbow height only and that your hands are behind your shoulders. So shoulders in front of your fingers. So I'll show you the difference. So if my hands are underneath my shoulders, this is what it looks like. My elbows are behind my wrists. It's actually really quite uncomfortable. And the correct version as a contrast is right here. Now the other big mistake that I see is that's really the biggest one actually, we'll go from there. Now the modifications that would be good for you to do. I would suggest first thing is come into the proper alignment first thing, and then I'll give you some steps that you can take to modify. So when you are coming into it, first thing, toes forward, so shoulders in front of your fingers. You're welcome to drop to your knees. Make sure you keep your core nice and tight. So pubic bone is lifted towards your navel, belly in nice and strong, and then you can lower down and your elbows will stay in the same position. Notice that my chest did not drop. So my shoulders, elbows, wrists are in that nice position here still. And then I can press into my hands and feet into an upward facing dog. Okay? The other option that I would suggest is if you don't need the knees, you can do the same thing but with your knees lifted. Just come right to the floor. So I'm going to get into that position, tips of my toes, gazing forward, and then with control, pushing off my toes, I'll come right to the floor. Point my toes, and then you can go into your upward facing dog. So those are the major things to look for and how to do it correctly. And I hope, as I cruise over here, that now you have the tools to crush your own vinyasa classes and at least have this awareness of how to move safely, keep yourself safe, and use this alignment to support you in your practice. If you found this video valuable, I'd love it if you would like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel because I'll have more videos coming up soon. Okay, thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have an amazing day.